Good morning, good morning. December 31st, 2020. Well, 2020, it's been good, but I look forward to never seeing you again. No, I can't lie. 2020 was an awesome year. Despite everything that, has been happening, honestly, I think if I didn't turn on the TV, then this year would have seemed not so bad. A little weird, of course. I would have been pretty confused going to the grocery store and seeing everyone wearing dust masks or cloth masks with fun patterns on them and stuff. But really, other than that, not a lot has changed in my neck of the woods. I've been really lucky. I haven't lost anybody to COVID, and I hope to keep it that way going into the next year. I do know some people that have got pretty sick, but they got better, thank goodness. And I do know a couple people that have lost loved ones, so my heart goes out to you. If I could give you a big hug, I would. So, what's going on the last day of this year? Well, today's like day 8 or something of the Flab to Ab challenge. Yesterday, I messed up and I drank some coffee before breakfast. It's such an ingrained habit. I just didn't even think about it until I had downed like a whole one of these, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of hungry. Oh, crud. I was supposed to eat first. So that means that I had to take a cold shower this morning. So I did that, and I recorded the audio of it. I haven't listened to it, so who knows what it'll be like, but I'll throw a little bit of it in this video just as evidence that I was torturing myself. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but look how red I am. My back is like super red. So I guess that's the capillaries. But to be honest with you, it really wasn't that bad. I did a phase 1 of the Live Hard Challenge earlier in the year, and you have to take a 5-minute cold shower every day for 30 days. And I got pretty used to it. And I play a little mental trick on myself. Like when I get in there, I just look at it like it's me versus the water. You know what I mean? And I know it's not really gonna hurt me. So, I just, bring it on. And I shampoo and do all that stuff, which helps pass the time. But honestly, by the end of 5 minutes of cold water, I feel pretty invigorated. I feel pretty good. So honestly, I think I might continue doing it. Maybe not for 5 minutes because it's pretty brutal, but maybe start at 1 minute, 2 minutes. I'm in North Idaho, and you can see outside, it's pretty snowy. So the water gets pretty freaking cold when I turn it all the way down. So I noticed things like that because when I was in Vietnam, I think it was Vietnam or Thailand, I was trying to take cold showers and I just couldn't because the water was lukewarm. But anyways, I went snowboarding yesterday, got a lot of exercise, and today I'm going to be back in the gym doing Olympic weightlifts, getting strong. And tomorrow is New Year's Day. We're having a big family get-together. I'm really excited to see everybody. And Saturday is going to be awesome. My cousin Henry and I are going to do a podcast. I'm going to try to do it YouTube Live. I don't know if I can do that. I think you might have to have a certain amount of subscribers or something. But either way, we're going to spend a couple hours just digging into stuff. And trust me, there's a lot to dig into. I saw this interesting video last night. Catherin Austin Fitts. She was the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for Housing during the Bush administration in 1990, I believe it was. And she's an investment banker and very successful woman, very smart. And I watched an interview with her last night that was published 3 days ago now, and man, she said some stuff that would make most people's head explode. And it's so crazy right now, the narratives being sold on the news. And For those of you out there that think, oh no, propaganda, there's no propaganda and blah, 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 like, just go Google it. Go look at the word propaganda on Wikipedia. Propaganda is everywhere. Literally every commercial, movie, magazine, TV show, commercial, all over the internet. It's everywhere. You can't deny it. And the things that she said definitely go against the grain as far as mainstream goes. But she's got some data and very, very interesting points. And one of them that really stuck out to me was the location of the riots recently. In 2020, there was riots in many cities. And I think she said there's 36 cities, and 34 of those riots were in cities where there's a Federal Reserve Bank. There's 36 banks, 34 of the cities have those banks. And I can't remember the exact amount, it might have been 34, but a bunch of these riots were in what are called opportunity zones. Opportunity zones were part of the 2017 tax plan, the Trump tax plan, where they have these areas in cities where if you sell a bunch of stock or you just sell some assets that you have earned money on, normally you would have to pay what's called capital gains tax, which is usually, for short term, it's the equivalent of your income tax. So if you sell some assets and you make some money on it, and then you turn around and you invest in one of these opportunity zones, which is just an area on a map, then you get to not have to pay capital gains tax. So the example she used was good old Jeff Bezos sold $10 billion worth of stock in 2020. He can turn around and buy a bunch of real estate in one of these opportunity zones and get out of paying over like billions of dollars of taxes. And during a time when everybody seems to be so concerned about billionaires paying taxes, this is a huge red flag. And so it's kind of curious that all of these riots are happening in these opportunity zones. What happens when there's a riot? Well, businesses get crushed, buildings get destroyed, people move out. They're like, screw this, I need to get out of this area. And the real estate prices drop dramatically. Who's ready to buy all this real estate? It's floated around, and you'll have to look this up yourself if you're interested, but it's been floated around that a lot of people involved in the riots are actually paid to be there. Is it true? I don't know. But it definitely fits in with this whole idea. We've got these opportunity zones. We've got super, super, super rich people selling tons of stock and investing in these opportunity zones, thus avoiding billions of dollars worth of taxes. And these billionaires also fund a lot of organizations. Some of these organizations pay people to go to riots. Don't believe me? Look it up. But I thought that was really interesting. And there's lots of little nuggets like this, little tiny pieces of information that you can find in actual data that's provided by the government that paints a different story of what we're seeing on the news. So it's very interesting. I implore you to not believe everything that you hear from anybody. Just do your own research, sit back, think for yourself, and if you're like me, then you don't have any really hard positions. I don't have any hard positions. I don't have any super, super hard beliefs. I'm open to having my mind changed all the time. And I look forward to being wrong, because every time I'm wrong and I find out, it means that I'm getting better. I'm probably avoiding mistakes, which is great. I don't really care about being right. I just care about being correct in my actions. So anyways, I thought that was super interesting. Catherin Austin Fitts, Google it, watch some of her stuff on YouTube. It's pretty cool. And yeah, tune in for that podcast. Maybe we'll talk about some of this stuff. I know Henry's going to want to talk about neuroscience and behavior and psychology and all of that kind of stuff, which really feeds into everything that's going on today. And I'm going to bring up a subject called, it's called dreads. There's these receptors that can be inserted into your brain so that when you ingest certain chemicals, they bind to these receptors and they can either make neurons fire or keep them from firing. And when they do this in studies on rats, they're able to alter the behavior of rats. And I thought this was super fascinating. I just found this subject randomly when I was cruising around the internet one day. And the reason why it really intrigued me is because one of the ways to insert these receptors is through a virus. Pretty cool, huh? So hopefully we get to talk about that. I'll bring some more information and facts and data so that I can actually prove some of what I'm saying and hopefully learn enough to be able to explain it in a way that makes sense. But either way, it's going to be super fun. So if it's live, tune in or check it out after the fact. All good. And hopefully we'll be doing more of this kind of stuff in the future. So it's the last day of the year. I hope you all have a fantastic celebration, and I hope all of us can launch into 2021 with some momentum and just kick this year's ass. All right, I'll see you on the next one.